Right now I'm going to demonstrate how to set up and use our drag and drop Max for Live utility device. This device allows you to populate sampler, simpler, and clip slots with clips from a looper's drag me field using a single control, so you won't have to click drag and drop clips around your live set. This device is a workaround solution and will require some setup before we can start using it. Let's begin. The first thing you will need to do is make sure the Java Standard Edition development kit is installed on your computer. We will be using Java's Autobot class in order to emulate a rapid series of mouse commands that will effectively drag and drop clips from a looper to a destination without having to physically interact with a mouse or trackpad. That being, we will also need to place a few files in some very specific locations. Bundled in the drag and drop project folder is another folder labeled MXJ Autobot. There are 3 files in this folder we'll need to relocate before the drag and drop device can function properly. Go to the Ableton application. Open its context menu and click Show Package Contents. Navigate to Contents, App Resources, then to the Max app. Now open Max's context menu and navigate to Contents, Resources, C74, Packages, Max MXJ, Java Classes, and Classes. We are going to copy both the autobot.class and autobot.java files into this directory. Now navigate back to the Max MXJ folder and the help folder therein. Copy the autobot.maxhelp file into this directory. We will need to make sure that Max and Ableton have permissions to control your computer. For Mac users, go to your system preferences and navigate to the Security and Privacy panel. Click the Privacy tab and select Accessibility from the menu on the left. You will need to click the lock icon in the bottom left of this window and provide your computer's password when prompted. Once unlocked, check the boxes for both the Ableton and Max applications. You can lock this panel once your changes are made. Now open up the drag and drop project. Notice the set is a simple configuration of 4 tracks with 1 looper each, a track with a simpler, and 1 with a sampler. We're going to key map some controls to the first 3 buttons of the drag and drop interface. For the sake of simplicity, we will map the 1, 2, and 3 keys to the Map Looper Location, Map Sampler Location, and Map Simpler Location buttons, respectively. Now navigate to one of your loopers. Hover the mouse cursor over the Drag Me field and press your 1 key. The location of the looper Drag Me field is now stored within the drag and drop device. This highlights one of the limitations of our drag and drop workaround. Being that we're emulating mouse commands that are relative to on-screen pixel locations, each looper will have to be in the same position on-screen for each track. Another limitation is that you can only work with 1 looper per track. Now navigate to the sampler and hover your mouse cursor over the Drop Sample Here field and press your 2 key. The correct location of the sampler is now registered within the drag and drop device. Likewise, repeat this process for the simpler device, navigating to the device, hovering the cursor over the drop field, and pressing your 3 key. The limitation here is that this device can only keep track of a single sampler and a single simpler within your set. Keep in mind that this solution emulates mouse commands, so if you've mapped device locations with the Info View window closed, your loopers and samplers will be in different on-screen locations with the Info View window open. Double-check the state of the Info View window before using drag and drop. Now you can map some controls to the remaining buttons of your device. Again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use the 4, 5, and 6 keys to control the Populate Clip Slot, Populate Sampler, and Populate Simpler buttons, respectively. We're ready to test our configuration. Select the looper you want to acquire a clip from. Hover the mouse over a clip slot from that respective looper's track and press the 4 key, or whatever control you've mapped to the Populate Clip Slot button. A clip should be automatically dragged and dropped into that clip slot. Now select your desired looper and click either the Populate Sampler or Populate Simpler button. The device should be automatically populated with the clip from that desired looper. If you want to send the same clip to different locations, you'll need to reselect the source track after population is complete. Notice we've also added a track with our Max for Live Legacy Step Sequencer expansion device. I'd like to use this to show an example of how I use drag and drop in my own performances. First, I have the sequencer already outputting MIDI data into the sampler. The sampler track volume is all the way down. This way, my taking a loop and sequencing its contents occur as seamlessly as possible. I just need to populate the sampler and fade in its audio to taste. You can also easily swap source material into the sampler by simply taking another loop and using your controller.